Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first video of Two Tickets, Please. So, today we're going to be taking a flight with Iberia Express from Madrid to Santiago de Compostela. So, keep in mind that Iberia Express and all the other Iberia flights always leave from Terminal 4 in Madrid. So, the Madrid airport is a huge airport, and a lot of people get very confused when using it and don't really know where they're supposed to go. One thing that is really great in a lot of these Spanish airports is since the pandemic has started, a lot of the free water fountains have not been able to be open to the public because of obvious reasons. And because water is notoriously very expensive in airports, they are having these €1 water bottles being sold in the vending machines in many of the airports. So, Madrid Terminal 4 is often called the Rainbow Terminal, and it is extremely beautiful if you look at the rooftop. It ranges in the Iberia colors from yellow to orange to red, so it definitely looks like a rainbow, especially from outside. It is extremely beautiful to look at. So, boarding happens in four different groups. Group one and two are the priority boarders, so they'll be going first. And then, if you're in economy and didn't pay for priority boarding, you'll be in groups three and four. Now, this is randomly done, so there's no way that you can choose which one you can be in or pay to be in a different one. So, just make sure that you are standing in the correct line because if you are in boarding group four and you stand in group three, then you'll be sent to the back of the group four line. And that's honestly not very fun for anyone, so you won't get helped if you sneak into another line. This was the very first flight of the day for the plane, and it honestly looked extremely clean and very nice. So it looked very professional. They had the seat belts all crossed over in the same manner, and it looked very professional. So there is a USB charging port underneath the seats, and it is very nice that they have that option there. However, I did try to use it and it didn't work on the flight. So that is something that I would definitely keep in mind. And there was gum stuck next to it, and I really felt that they really could have cleaned that. But I'm not going to be too disappointed in that. Then there was definitely quite a bit of leg room, and I'm quite a short person, so keep that in mind. I'm about 162 centimeters, so if you're much taller than me, then you might find this leg room restrictive. They did have Wi-Fi on board. I did try to use it, but I did struggle with that. I'm not sure if that is just me or if someone else might have very easily used it, but it is nice to know that that is an option on board for other people. The tray table was very nice and sturdy and clean as well. So if you need to do work on board or if you need to eat something on board, it's definitely not going to let you down. And here we are taking off from the Madrid airport. Our flight today is very short, only about an hour and 20 minutes. One thing that was quite noticeable is that it's a very early morning flight. The sun is still coming up, and they did switch off all the lights immediately, and they didn't really come around with any food as well. So if you wanted to get something, my guess is that you probably had to call the steward or stewardess to ask for some service because they were definitely not going around as is usual with a lot of other airlines. So when it comes to the legroom, I just wanted to add that I have a very small backpack and it couldn't fully fit underneath the seat. It was half protruding out of it, so that definitely took away some of the legroom, and I was quite unimpressed with this because, I paid extra to be on a flight like this instead of flying with Ryanair, and the legroom was definitely quite disappointing, especially for someone like me that doesn't really have an issue with legroom. Another thing was that the seats could not recline, and for some people, this might be quite of a relief because if you don't have a lot of legroom, you definitely don't want the person in front of you reclining into your lap. But that is something that, if it's a longer flight, it might make it quite uncomfortable for you. So as you guys can hear, I took this footage when we were about to land and they switched on the lights because it was the only chance I had to do so. So here we have the food that is offered on board. The prices are quite reasonable, a little higher than some of the other airlines, but honestly, if you really want to have something on board that is an option for you, they don't do several very long routes on Iberia Express. So if you want a small snack, you can definitely get that here for a very reasonable price. The coffee here is instant coffee, so keep that in mind. For €3, you probably don't really want to have that. And here we are at the Santiago de Compostela airport. Honestly, my flight was quite enjoyable if you are just looking to take the early morning flight and have a snooze in the airplane. It's definitely very comfortable. Would I choose this specifically over Ryanair, which does the exact same route? I'm not exactly sure. If there was more legroom on the Ryanair flight, which is something that I did test, and there is more legroom on that, I would personally go for that. If you are definitely doing something as a business trip and you would like to have a slightly more comfortable experience, then maybe Iberia Express is a better bet for you. Furthermore, we are at the Santiago de Compostela airport, and it's a very small airport with very minimal shops available. So if you are doing a layover there, just consider that there isn't much to do in the airport. Thank you guys so much for joining in this journey with us and flying with us today on 2 Tickets Please. Please make sure to like and subscribe to our channel for future videos. Our next video is going to be a Ryanair flight review from Santiago de Compostela to Barcelona.